Are you on your weight loss journey and you're eating in a calorie deficit, but you really find it hard to stay in a calorie deficit day after day consistently? Maybe it's because you're eating less calories, or maybe you get hungry, or maybe eating in a calorie deficit is really hard. You are not alone. When I was in my calorie deficit for the past 3 months, I found it really hard to stay on track consistently day after day, eating less calories. In this video, I'm going to break it down. What are high volume, low calorie foods, and why is it important to eat those types of food when you are in a calorie deficit? I'm going to be sharing over 11 different food swaps that you can make today to maintain your calorie deficit so that you can achieve your fat loss goals. And make sure you watch it till the end, because at the end of this video, I'm going to share some of my favorite food swaps that I like to do and I like to keep on hand to maintain my calorie deficit. So before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome. I am Nisha. I'm a fitness trainer, mom of two in my 40s. I have helped over hundreds of women decrease their overall body fat percentage, gain lean muscle mass while feeling their healthiest and the strongest versions of themselves. And that's the reason why I created this channel, to help you get fit as a vegan. So if you are trying to change your overall body composition, gain lean muscle mass, and incorporate some high protein plant-based meals, then make sure you stick around and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment below to let me know if you found this video helpful. All right, so before we get into all the different food swaps that you can implement to make your calorie deficit easier, let's talk a little bit about what are high volume, low calorie dense foods. During calorie deficit, you want to make sure that you are not feeling hungry, because if you're always feeling hungry, it's going to be really hard to stay on track with your calorie deficit. And that's the reason why you want to fill your plates with lower calorie fruits and vegetables, because they bulk up your meal and they help you stay full for far less calories. So if you have only about 1500 calorie budget and you choose to eat few cookies and a bowl of ice cream, that can easily be anywhere between 600 to 700 calories. And if you have a 1500 calorie budget, that does not leave you with much calories. It's only leaving you with about 800 to 900 calories for the day. Yes, you can incorporate these high calorie dense foods, but you have to be very mindful that they are very less filling and they are a lot more higher in calories. So you want to replace these high calorie dense foods with low calorie, high volume foods that are going to help you feel full for far less calories. Not to mention, fruits and vegetables are extremely nutrient dense and they are packed with vitamins and minerals that are going to help you feel energized during your calorie deficit, so that you have high energy level to keep your non-exercise activity higher and you have energy at the gym to work out. And second thing you want to do during calorie deficit is keep your protein intake high. If you go over my series of full day of eating for fat loss, you'll notice that I have maintained high protein foods throughout my calorie deficit. Protein is an extremely satiating macronutrient, plus protein will also help you maintain your lean muscle mass that you worked so hard for. We don't just want to lose weight, we want to target fat loss while maintaining our lean muscle tissue. And that's the reason why you need to keep your protein intake high. Try to aim for 30 to 35 grams of protein at each meal. That way you can spread it out evenly throughout the day and you don't have to struggle getting in enough protein. All right, let's dive in. So the number one food swap that I personally love to do in a calorie deficit is switch out white rice with cauliflower rice. I know what you're thinking, it's not the same thing, but guess what? 1 cup of cooked rice is typically about 200 calories, whereas 1 cup of cauliflower rice is 20 calories. If you don't want to completely get rid of rice, you can just take away some of that rice and replace it with some cauliflower rice. That way you have both options and you are still able to decrease the overall calories of your meal. Second food swap that you should consider doing is swapping out your olive oil on your meals. Just keep in mind, any types of oils are extremely calorically dense and they increase the calories of your meal. So for example, if you are cooking with 1 tablespoon of olive oil at every single meal, considering you are actually measuring carefully, that's almost about 360 calories. So calories add up throughout the day. So what I typically like to do is replace my olive oil with cooking spray. So my personal favorite is avocado oil spray. If you don't want to replace your olive oil with cooking spray, what you can do is take that 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and let's say that you're going to be cooking 3 meals with oil. You can split that 1 tablespoon of olive oil into 3 teaspoons of oil. That way you have spread out those 120 calories into 3 different meals throughout the day, and it's not going to increase the calories of that meal by that much. My third swap that I like to do is I swap out my pasta noodles or spaghetti noodles with some zucchini noodles or even spaghetti squash. One serving of cooked pasta has approximately 300 calories. And if you replace that with 1 cup of zucchini noodles, that's only about 20 calories. So instead of having entire serving of pasta noodle, you can use half of that serving, which is only about 150 calories, and add other 20 calories from zucchini noodles. This way you bulk up your meal. So in this example here, I have made this pasta even on my maintenance phase, and I still like to bulk up my pasta with zucchini noodles and other veggies. Fourth swap that you can do is replace your granola with cooked oatmeal. And depending on what brand of granola that you're eating, most of them tend to be extremely calorically dense with small quantities. Instead, replace it with cooked oatmeal, because cooked oatmeal expands when you're cooking it in water, so it absorbs a lot of water content, and that's going to help you stay full for a lot longer compared to dried granola. My fifth personal favorite swap that I like to do is I like to replace vegan mayo with my Sriracha tofu mayo. Depending on the brand of mayo that you're using, typically a tablespoon of vegan mayo has approximately 70 to 90 calories. So that's a lot of calories that are just coming from condiments. So instead, I like to make my own Sriracha tofu mayo at home, and I keep that jar ready in the fridge to be used throughout the week. And just 1 tablespoon of tofu Sriracha mayo has only 10 calories. So you can save up a ton of calories by swapping out your vegan mayo with Sriracha mayo. If you're coming across this video for the first time, I will link the tofu Sriracha mayo recipe in the description box below. Next swap that you want to consider making when you're in a calorie deficit is your salad dressings. Most salad dressings tend to be extremely calorically dense depending on the brand. So instead, what I like to do is I like to replace them with either balsamic vinegar, lemon juice, or make some sort of sauce with Dijon mustard combined with lemon juice or a little bit of maple syrup for sweetness. I have made many versions of dressings or sauces on my channel in my What I Eat in a Day for Fat Loss series. So if you struggle with sauces or dressings for your salads, make sure you check those videos out. My personal favorite condiments that I like to have on my meals is Sriracha, mustard, some sort of Dijon mustard or regular mustard, salsa. They tend to be extremely low in calories. You can also use coconut aminos, or you can use other low calorie sauces to cook your meals with. I have put them on the screen for you. These are some of my favorite sauces that I like to use during my calorie deficit. One of the other swaps that you can do during a calorie deficit is, instead of eating chips and crackers, replace them with air popped popcorn. Air popped popcorn is way less in calories compared to a small quantity of potato chips or crackers. They tend to be extremely calorically dense, and they are also extremely palatable. So when you consume potato chips and crackers, it's really hard to stop with small quantity. So if you crave something crunchy and salty, you can replace those potato chips with air popped popcorn at home that has only about 30 calories per cup. One of the other swaps I like to do during calorie deficit or even during maintenance phase is swap out my peanut butter with powdered peanut butter. 1 tablespoon of peanut butter is roughly about 90 calories, whereas 1 tablespoon of powdered peanut butter is only 30 calories. So you end up saving a lot more calories when you replace your peanut butter with powdered peanut butter. And also powdered peanut butter tends to be a lot more higher in protein for far less calories. So if you struggle to keep your protein intake high, you can use powdered peanut butter in your recipes to make peanut sauce, and that will also help you boost up your overall protein intake of that meal. One of the other way to stay on track during calorie deficit is not to deprive yourself of foods that you love. Personally, for me, I love ice cream, especially during summer months. And if you have watched my What I Eat in a Day for Fat Loss videos, you've noticed that I have made lower calorie versions of my favorite ice creams throughout my entire calorie deficit. And I kept those treats in for me to stay on track during calorie deficit. So if you love ice cream, you can replace a higher calorie ice cream with low calorie ice creams at home. I have a ton of Ninja Creamy recipe videos on my channel. So if you have a Ninja Creamy, I highly recommend you go try out these ice cream recipes. All the ice creams that I have made on my channel are roughly between 70 to 100 calories per serving, compared to 1 serving of store-bought ice cream, which has about 200 calories. So you can eat a lot more quantity of homemade ice cream compared to a store-bought ice cream if ice cream is something that you love to have during your calorie deficit. And one of the other swaps that you should consider making if you are struggling to maintain your calorie deficit is to swap out cashew-based or nut butter-based sauces with silken tofu. Silken tofu is my absolute favorite thing to make sauces with. It's so versatile. You can do so much with silken tofu, and it's a lot less in calories compared to cashew-based or hemp seed or tahini-based sauces and dressings. Calories add up from these sauces very quickly if you just pour them over your meals. Again, I have a ton of variations of how I make my tofu sauces and dressings on my channel in my What I Eat in a Day for Fat Loss series, so make sure you check those out. Lastly, this is one of the swap that I would really consider doing if you struggle to maintain your calorie deficit is be mindful of maple syrup. Maple syrup is healthy compared to regular sugar, but it's still processed and it's still extremely calorically dense. So if you're adding maple syrup to your pancakes, to your oatmeal, or in your sauces and dressings, just be very mindful of how much of it you are adding into your dressings and sauces, as calories from these maple syrup will add up pretty quickly. So what I like to do instead, I like to sweeten things up with stevia. If you're okay with stevia, then consider making that swap to decrease your overall calories of any desserts that you're having or even your sauces. And one more tip that I would like to give you during calorie deficit is every time you are building your meal, always think how can you bulk up the volume of that meal without increasing calories. And the easiest way to do that is to add more non-starchy vegetables like mushrooms, bell pepper, zucchini, kale. If you do that, it's going to help you maintain that calorie deficit easily. Lastly, my favorite snacks to have during calorie deficit is watermelon, all types of berries like strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, as they tend to be a lot less in calories compared to higher calorie fruits like bananas or mangoes or pineapple. I like to eat a ton of watermelon during my calorie deficit because watermelon has so little calories for a lot of volumes. And one of the other things that I like to do during my calorie deficit is I like to chop up my veggies and keep them in containers in the fridge. I like to make my own hummus. So if you feel the need for snacking in between your meals, then you have your snacks already prepared in the fridge and it's going to help you stay on track. And some of the easiest veggies that I like to prepare for snack is cucumber, celery sticks, or carrots, or even chop up some bell peppers. So lastly, I would like to say is yes, being in a calorie deficit is not fun, but if you make these swaps, it's going to help you maintain your calorie deficit while you continue to improve your overall body composition and stay on track. Let me know in the comment section below what are some of your favorite swaps that you like to do, or what are some of the swaps that you will be making on your calorie deficit. And if you have any questions on your fitness journey, or if you're struggling to lose weight, drop those questions in the comment section below and I would love to help you out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. I hope you're staying healthy and active. I'll see you guys very soon on my next one. Bye.